Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Good morning. Thank you for watching. I'm Dina Huff, the Executive Director for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth, and I hope you all enjoyed the snow that we had this past weekend. I know we had a great time trying to sled a little bit in the snow, and I hope everyone was safe and no one got hurt. But I'm ready for spring, and I hope you are too. But just moving forward with the partnership, I just wanted to tell you about a couple of things we have going on here at the partnership. Of course, we always have our day-to-day operations that keep us very busy, but we do have events that we partner with other organizations and churches, groups out in the community because we're always out in the community. That's what we do if you see us. And one of the events coming up, and it may seem kind of far away, but it's not. We're actually we are partnering with several different organizations to host a Loganville Health Fair. And that is going to be Saturday, April the 18th at Loganville Church, and that's at 221 Main Street in Loganville. And if you are interested in becoming a vendor, they are looking for anyone that offers health-related services to become a vendor. It's free of charge. It's paid for through a grant, and we do appreciate the Walton County Healthcare Foundation for funding that health fair for us. This will be the first of, we hope, many there in Loganville, and then we hope to bring it in other, like in Monroe, and then in Social Circle. So we're going to start that off in Loganville, and again, that's April the 18th. And the health fair is going to be from 10 until 2. So if you're interested in being a vendor or want more information on how you can come participate and just know the booths that are going to be available there, reach out to me, and I'll share my number after the video. Just let me know, and I can hook you up with the appropriate people to get you more information. Now, our next collaborative meeting will be next Tuesday, which will be Our next collaborative meeting will be February 17th, which will be a week from next Tuesday, and we will be meeting at the church in Loganville. Mr. Bill Ayers will be our speaker for that meeting, and he'll be sharing more information about the health fair, among other things that he does. He wears many hats. And our collaborative meetings are open to anyone. We do share information and resources that are available, and we like to share a lot of information related to families and children. If you have any trainings that you would like to offer, get in touch with me, and I would like to host you at one of our collaborative meetings, because we have a lot of folks that need trainings in different areas. So if you offer something for about an hour or two, we're always open to hearing what you have to offer, or just come join us and hear all about what we do. So again, that date is February 17th. We meet from 8 until 9, and I also offer a Zoom option for that, because we do have folks that are outside of Walton County that want to participate in our meetings. So if you're interested, my email is Dina, DENA, .huff at walton.k12.ga.us. That's a mouthful. My direct line is 770-207-3175. Reach out to me if you're interested in hearing more about what I've talked about today, or how you can become more involved with the partnership. We would love to have you. We're always looking for volunteers to work with our Walton Youth Project board members. They have lots of great information to share and lots of stuff going on. So if you're interested in hearing more about what we do, call me, email me, and I'd love to sit down and chat with you. So again, thank you for watching. Stay safe. See you next time.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful and the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Happy New Year to all of you. I did want to take a moment to, I wanted to go over some of the totals we had for our first month of the year in January, and I'll try to kind of do a monthly total as we go along. Across our scales in the month of January, we had 1,537 cars. We sold over 56 tons of recyclables. We've taken in 291 tons of trash here at the recycling center. Our school recycling route, we have a route we do a competition with all of the local schools to see who can collect the most recycling throughout the school year. And for the month of January, Walton County Schools recycled a little over 3 tons of office paper and plastic bottles. Really want to thank the schools that participate, and I will keep you up to date with how much they're recycling going forward. We also got in 252 mattresses in the month of January, so I'm assuming a lot of people got new mattresses for Christmas, because we've certainly had quite a few come down here. Also wanted to get you up to date on our Bring One for the Chipper event, where we collect Christmas trees down here to be mulched. We had over 40 trees brought down to us here at the recycling center this year for Bring One for the Chipper. So that is something to be aware of next year if you have a live Christmas tree, or you know people that do and they really don't know what to do with those. You can always kind of steer them down here to us. We always have a designated area to put those trees, so be happy to take care of those. Also, when I mentioned the paper recycling route, we do a school competition, but we also offer paper and plastic recycling to any businesses or churches or any other organizations out there that would like to be a part of that paper route. If you're getting quite a bit of paper that you're currently throwing away or having to take home with you to recycle or whatnot, and you'd like somebody to stop by once a week to get some of that off your hands, we'd be happy to add you on to our recycling route. We do have some space on that route to add some new stops. Feel free to give us a call. Again, our number down here is 770-267-1421. We'd be happy to get you set up on that. We normally run the route on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so as long as that can work for you, we'd be happy to start getting that paper and recycling it. And as I always do, come out and see us. If you have any questions, any environmental questions, any questions about recycling, or if you have something that you're not sure if it's recyclable, or even if it's something that we don't recycle here, I can typically find a company somewhere that does handle those things. So if you have some items that you really don't know what to do with, want to make sure you're doing the right thing, give us a call. And again, come out and see us. Be happy to walk you through, help you get started recycling, show you what we do here at the center, and help you in any way we can. So come out and see us, give us a call, and until next time, take care.
has now. We formed all-star teams, and they'll be playing in the 6th district tournament and the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association tournament. At the end of February, we're actually hosting a couple age groups. I think the 8s and the 10-year-old boys will be playing at our place at Meridian Park. So good luck to all of our teams that'll be playing in that tournament into February, and hopefully we'll have a few teams that will advance to the state tournament the first week of March. With basketball coming to an end, y'all realize spring registration has ended. If you didn't get on a team, you didn't get registered, and you still want to participate, please contact one of our local coordinators in the park that you want to play at, either at Felker and Monroe, West Walton at the Meridian Park, or down in South Walton. We have coordinators there, and they are in the process now of doing all of our evaluations where we can pick our teams, get uniforms ordered, get our practice scheduled, which starts around February 21st with all of our baseball, softball, track, and soccer practice all start the first week in February. So a lot going on, and baseball and softball, soccer, all that will start really soon.
Be good.
At the community centers, we have all kind of activities going on. The weather hasn't been great with the ice and then the snow. A lot of people are coming into the community centers and working out. Our indoor pickleball courts, where we have the 4 courts at Criswell Park and the 6 courts over at, the 6 courts over at Nowell. You can get a membership for that, and you can play indoor pickleball. Once the weather changes, obviously everybody will be out the outdoor courts. We've got a lot of activities going on out at Criswell and out at Ayers Park. We have lots of outdoor courts. We're building an additional 12 more outdoor courts at Meridian coming up this spring. So lots of opportunities for you to play pickleball indoors or outdoors. You can go to our website at waltoncountyga.gov for more information on how you can get that. Also, as far as pavilion rentals go, we have a lot of pavilions out there for rent. The new ones out of the Grove will probably go first. They have bathrooms that are next to it, so it's a good place. Cost to rent those are $100 each to reserve that. You can do that through our community centers, any of them, the one at Walnut Grove or the one at Felker or Meridian or South Walton. So hope you'll go and visit the new park at the Grove. It's a great amphitheater, ballpark, great outdoor walking trail. Come see us. That's where our offices are located as far as the administrative part of the Parks and Recreation Department. So we'd love to give you a tour if you'd like that. We've got a concert coming up. We're now trying to fill our series of concerts that are going to be out there. And on April 10th will be our first concert, which will be the Connor Lally Band. He's also got an opening act, a couple acoustic guitars they'll be playing prior to that. We're now trying to figure out the price of those events. It's going to be fairly inexpensive for you to come out, enjoy a good night of music and fellowship. We plan on doing probably 6 or 7 different events and maybe 2 festivals out there at the new community center. So looking forward to a whole slot of events going on out there for all of Walton County. So until next time, thank you very much.
Caitlin Boyd is the Executive Director of the Walton County Christian Learning Center. So we're glad she was able to come today. She came to meet. I'm on City Council in Good Hope, and our mayor is president of your...
Yeah, he's the president of our board.
So he asked if we had any opportunities, and I said we absolutely do. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for
I'll
having
let
me.
you tell us all about it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me this afternoon. I'm very glad to be with you guys. Lunch was excellent, so thank you. That was a treat. I told Mr. Prather on the phone that I have 3 little ones that I'm cooking for all the time. So if I get something that I don't have to cook, it's an extra special treat. So thank you guys for having me. I am really excited. One of my favorite things to do is to talk about our organization. The Walton County Christian Learning Center, a lot of people actually don't know what it is or does, but we've been in existence for over 25 years now. And so just kind of a little bit of backstory before I tell you what we do. We had a group of just community members who wanted to see students have the opportunity to be equipped in their faith or in a journey of faith during the school day as part of an elective course. And so they got together and started praying and planning in 1999-2000. And the Walton County Christian Learning Center was born and approved by the Walton County School District Board of Education in 2001. And so that was actually, this is how old I am. But 2001, 2002 was my senior year in high school. And so I actually have a rare and unique privilege of being able to talk about the CLC program from the perspective of both multiple positions. So I was a student in that first class. When I graduated from college, I came back and started teaching at the Loganville High School CLC. Then I assisted our founding director, Ms. Terry Butcher, for several years after I had my kiddos and came out of the classroom. And then when she retired 5 years ago, I was able to take over as executive director. And so I say all that to say just that the story of CLC is really ingrained deeply in my heart and my life in multiple seasons of life. Not many people know this, but my husband, who is a pastor down in Social Circle, he and I actually met for the first time in our CLC class, my senior year of high school. So he thought I was obnoxious then, and that was true. But we both actually worked for CLC when we graduated from college. And so I say a lot that the Christian Learning Center is woven all through my story. And so I'm grateful to get to be a part of it still today. And so if you're unaware kind of what CLC is, I gave you some things to look at, but here's some of our kiddos. This is the reason we do what we do, and so I love the opportunity to share with organizations that have the same heartbeat to see kids grow and flourish and thrive and become all that they are meant to be. And so these are some of our kiddos. We teach. I was here actually this morning at our Loganville High School Center, meeting with our teacher and teaching some of them before I came this way today. We have classes all over the county, and we serve 5th through 12th grade. So we have 5th through 12th grade students from the Walton County School District that are released for a time. We're known as what's called a release time Bible education program, which means that our students are released from the public school for a period of time during the day in order to come to us to have a Bible class as one of their elective classes. And so the only thing really that's required is parental consent, and we don't receive any state or local funding of any kind. So the Supreme Court actually upheld in 1959 the ability for parents to be able to direct the kind of spiritual growth of their children and the protection for release time programs like ours. And so we don't receive any funding from the state or local government, no school system funding. We're a completely separate organization, and we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So we have our 501c3, but we're also accredited in the state of Georgia as a private special purpose school. So I function as the head of school. My assistant director functions as our facilities maintenance and kind of school liaison, and so we function as a small private school. However, our enrollment will be this year over 1,200 students. So so lots of people don't know. Yeah, it's very exciting. So that's over 10% of the Walton County School District student body chooses to come to us for elective classes between 5th and 12th grade. Yes.
Where's the outdoor classroom?
Okay, so this is at Loganville High School. This is the inside of the classroom. This is outdoor. We actually had it was my parents' Sunday school class actually did that project for us when I was teaching there. But you can see, let's see, these are high school classes. These are some of our middle schoolers at Carver Middle School. This is our Loganville Middle School facility, and then this is our Walnut Grove High School facility. You'll see some other pictures. We have a facility at Monroe Area High School. So we serve all of the elementary, middle, and high schools in the Walton County School District. And so just kind of this idea, again, we're accredited, we're a nonprofit Christian school, and so essentially it's a hybrid. I say that word a lot when I'm telling people what we do, because we function as both a nonprofit and a private school, but we're tuition free. And so most places you have to pay a pretty good little penny to have a private Christian education. But we're offering that kind of education once a day for our public school students in Walton County, which is really exciting. It's a very unique program that not a lot of counties have. But our founding director, Ms. Terry Butcher, and her husband Butch have been instrumental in taking what we do here to other counties in Georgia. So the numbers of Christian learning centers around the state is growing, and so that's exciting. But just so you can see here, our mission is that we want to equip students to grow in their faith through Christian education and biblical community. And so one of the things that we have found when surveying all of our stakeholders, so students, teachers and admin at our public school, host schools is what we call them, parents, staff, everybody came back and said, hey, the things that we do really well that are central to who we are is that we give them Christian education and we show them what biblical community should look like. And Jenny and I were just talking at lunch, we've just seen some drastic changes in social emotional learning in our students post-COVID. And so just providing them a safe place to just investigate faith on their own has been something that, especially post-COVID, a lot of our students have really needed and have not had another place that they've been connected to. We find that the overwhelming majority of our students who come into our classes are not churched, meaning they do not have a church home that they would call their own, and so they're not connected in a larger community of faith. And so we're getting them to connect with us day to day. And we did some research. It's been interesting. If you think about a student who goes to a local church once a week, that's rare with a lot of our students, but once a week, I mean, that's what, 52 hours in a year. But with us, we have them 75 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on the school level, daily for 5 days a week. And so we're astronomically multiplying the amount of time that they're having in a safe environment to investigate faith, to learn what the Bible says, to make their own decisions about what that means and looks like, and then to have people who love them and care about them pouring into them. So we're hoping to be partners with organizations like this, but also with local churches and mission organizations, service organizations, just to give our students, the teachers and I talk about it a lot, to give our students multiple, mature, godly voices to speak into their lives. So we want them to hear from people a little bit further down the road than them, a little bit more life experience, to speak into them and teach them the way of Jesus. And so those are the avenues we do that through Christian education and then modeling authentic community. And so our vision, what we want to see as a result of that then, is that we want to enable and empower public school students in Walton County to grow in a variety of ways. My hope always when I speak to groups like this is that you don't hear just one aspect of what we do. So we want to teach and care for the whole student, spiritually, emotionally, socially, and academically. And so we want them to, of course, we believe that Jesus came and died for everybody and that he offers life and hope. And so we want to see them come to know Jesus. But we get students, we get students from all faiths, all walks of life, all kind of faith backgrounds. And our goal is to provide a safe and loving environment for them to either begin a journey of faith or take the next step in their journey of faith with somebody who can love and speak into their lives. And so I get kind of this idea a lot of times people say, oh, well, that's for church kids or youth group kids, and that's by and large not the students that we have coming in droves to our classes. We have students who desperately want a loving, safe place to be in. To investigate some of those questions that we all have about life. Where did I come from? Why am I here? What am I doing? Who is for me? All of those things. And so our hope is that we are serving them on all of these levels. And so this is something we implemented as part of our accreditation process in the last several years, just these core values. We were surveying our stakeholders, and they could say, well, we know that CLC teaches the Bible, but they couldn't articulate our mission and vision as well as we wanted them to. And so these core values came out of that kind of feedback. Just these are things that we teach our kids in every class that they take with us. Here at CLC, these are the things that are important. And so the gospel is central. We want to come back to the story of fallen humanity and of a need for Jesus and of how we walk out faith in a way that is loving and kind toward everyone and in a way that preserves truth and shares that with other people. But also that community is vital. We say a lot that you can't do life alone. And that's something I was even talking with our Loganville High School kids today, just reminding them that as part of the Christian faith, that we belong to each other. And so especially in our community, we want to be part of a community that is it's vital in what we're doing. And so community is vital. Excellence is the standard, so we want to do things with excellence. If we're going to put the name of Jesus on them, then we want to do that as well as we possibly can. And so that excellence is the standard at CLC, that compassion is the practice, that compassion is the way of Jesus, and that loving people well is important in the way that we treat each other, and then that eternity is the prize. So we're always looking forward to eternity. And so those are kind of our core values, but there's kind of the graphic that we share with our kiddos. So those things are interconnected for us, just teaching them what it looks like to, when they come to your seasons of life, what they're contributing to their families and their communities, and the global kind of scene as well. And so there are some, I will not read all these, and I know they're very small, but just some student impact stories, because it really, if we're not accomplishing our mission, then something's got to change. And so we just have a couple of really cool stories that we've gotten from some students, just all their views being altered, just perspective shifts and changes, making prayer more of a rhythm in their lives, helping address worry and anxiety, just learning how to study God's Word, how to read it for what it is. There's other things that are, less faith specific and more character specific, just learning how to be less aggressive and be more concerned with other people. And then coming to personal faith in Jesus as well. And so we're really grateful for the way that the Lord is working. This number now is higher than when I created this presentation, which is exciting. We had a little over 650 total students. I think the number is 652 for the fall semester. So we're beginning our second semester now in January, and we are looking to double that number. So again, over 1,200 students this year. 70 is the new total of students who are coming without any prior knowledge of Jesus or faith background and placing their faith in Jesus as part of what they learned with us. And so each student that comes to us gets a brand new Bible, and so we distribute roughly 500 Bibles a school year, depending on students. We actually had one of the students that I was talking to today at LHS had come in, I guess last week, and just asked his teacher, like, do you have like a couple hundred Bibles or something? She was like, what? Maybe. And he was just like, can I get some Bibles that I can just give to people at school? She was like, yeah, we can 100% do that. So we're seeing, especially in the young men that are coming up in high school right now, a hunger for something beyond themselves and looking to step into not only leadership, but they're passionate about what it looks like to follow Jesus, and they're giving that away to other people. And so we're giving lots of Bibles away, even to students that are not in our classes, which is really exciting to see. And so there are, some of the classes, there's one of our high school groups, and we kind of, just to give you a broad spectrum, we're teaching through the full narrative of Scripture right now. So poetry, prophecy, law, history, Gospels and history, and then the letters and prophecy through Scripture, just giving our students kind of a full picture of what the Bible says and how we read it. And then in middle school, we have kind of a 3-year program where they learn how to kind of put feet to their faith. And then our elementary school babies, look how cute they are. They're precious, and we have an incredible elementary staff that is kind of introducing CLC. So we have an elementary program that only meets once a week. Our middle and high schoolers meet daily, but our elementary school meets just once a week for a quarter in a club format, just so that our 5th graders kind of get the opportunity to understand some of the basics, and then decide if they want to keep pursuing faith with us. And so again, some really cool stories, just that students have met the Lord in meaningful ways in our classrooms, and it's been a really kind of beautiful thing, finding peace, understanding what true love looks like, and just meeting some needs. We're seeing a lot, especially post-COVID, a lot of mental health crises in our students, and so we love being some of the people on their team to be able to work with medical professionals, with their counseling staff at school, in order to, again, reach the whole student. And so we're grateful for that opportunity. And so again, just some of the really cool things we're hearing from students about what they're learning, what the Lord is doing. And so again, even in like learning what fellowship means, like how do we get in the same room as somebody that looks different than me and believes differently than me and treat them like a human being. I was just telling our Loganville high schoolers today that like, if we love Jesus, then like that is the bedrock of how we treat other people. And so just talking to them about, like, you ought to be able to sit at a table and hear from somebody that doesn't believe the same as you and treat them with honor and respect and love. You don't see that modeled probably very well just in general, but like that, like Jesus calls us to something higher than that. And so that's been really cool, just to point out to students how kindness and love pervades the way that we walk. And so we've also seen students engaging their families in some really beautiful ways. And that has been something that has been encouraging to see, that we're working on trying to really cultivate. And just giving, again, our teachers are paid drastically less than most teachers I know, and teachers aren't paid a whole lot anyway, but they're doing, honestly, mission work in our community, in right here in Walton County, and providing safe places for students to come and be seen and cared for. And so this you know, like my teacher, it helped a lot, meant to know that somebody cares. And so again, just providing that safe place. And so there are ways to be involved, of course, but I'm gonna leave that one there, it's my favorite. And so I pass out some things, but just as one of the many incredible 501c3 nonprofits in our county, we're really kind of looking for, if you see on that like how to give card, we're really looking to expand our revenue streams, and so our donor base. And I'll say that is because I think this is my 5th year now as the executive director, and so I've learned a little bit as I've gone. But I think that there's a delicate balance between letting people know what we do and also preserving the constitutionality of our organization, and being respectful of and honoring to the separation between church and state with our school system. We have an incredible school system. I will never say anything but glowing things about the Walton County School District. They are incredibly kind and generous and collaborative to work with, and so welcoming of our organization. And so we want to be really careful to respect the separation so that we can both keep doing what we do and serve the same kids. And so that said, we primarily have our donor base primarily is churches and small groups, and then individual families. We really, I don't know what the special sauce is, you guys can tell me. We really don't have a huge business base. And so that is something I think as a nonprofit, tax deductible gift, of course, but we're really looking at trying to see what's the best way to engage the business world. You know, businesses with ownership or leadership with like minds that would like to see you know, money going to a charitable organization that's working here in Walton County. There's not a whole lot that we've really figured out about kickbacks, right? Like we want to honor a business's contribution and donation and investment, but we don't do a whole lot of like, I don't know, events that, you know what I mean? Like events where we do have a worship night, a community worship night every semester. So we gather all of our CLC students, we worship together, we do that at a local church somewhere, and at those events we scroll our business partnerships on the screens, and those are always on our website. But anyway, we're just kind of figuring that out. So I'm always interested in meeting for coffee or just picking a Christian business person's brain about what the best way to partner that way would be. And so we do have several businesses that have come on board as one of our at one of our partnership levels. Those are on the little white together page. And so just always interested in growing that kind of area, especially of our support. But we're also looking at, we get a lot of end of year type gifts, which are kind and very generous, but always looking toward moving to automate giving and to ask people to give regularly, monthly or annually, because you can do the math, but there are two part-time administrators. That's myself and Chris, and then we have 10 teachers. This is for our 1,200 students. 2 administrators, 10 teachers, and only one of those teachers is part-time. All of the rest of them are full-time. We have about a $465,000 a year budget. So, they are, and that is because, and I'll say they have gotten 2 raises since I've been with us, and that was the first time in about 20 years. So I can just, and I say all that just to say, the Lord is kind, and He has blessed us beyond measure. Just the fact that He sustained us for the last 25 years is, it's grace and kindness from the Lord. But I'm always looking toward, now that I'm not teaching, it's not my job to take care of students anymore, it's my job to take care of our staff. And so that they can take care of our kids. So that our kids' needs are being met and we're seeing them grow spiritually, emotionally, socially, and academically. And so that's my joy, is getting from now the top down, having gone from a student to a teacher, to probably next year a parent of a student in CLC. It's really my honor to be able to represent an organization that I believe wholeheartedly in, because we're seeing life change in generations of kiddos. The teacher who came up and teaches now at LHS was one of my students, and did her student teaching with me when I was pregnant with my first little boy. And so we're seeing now the impact of generations coming back and saying, let me give back to the organization that has given to me. And so I'm really excited about the future. We have dreams and goals I'm thinking we're gonna have another cluster in the Walton County School District pretty soon, probably, with the amount of growth we're seeing in our communities. And so we're believing the Lord, but also doing some foundational work for fundraising in that vein. Just the idea that we're going to have to staff probably another elementary, middle school, and high school cluster pretty soon. And so excited about what the Lord's been doing. We also, in the last 3 years, have expanded our middle school classes to just double the amount of seats that we have at each middle school. We feel like middle school is a critical time for us to get students. We want them in 5th grade, but middle school's rough. For everybody, it's really hard. And so just getting them connected into our organization in middle school, we feel like is crucial. And so we've doubled our classes to be able to do that. And so lots of exciting work being done. We would covet more than anything just your prayers and your connections. So again, however we can partner with you guys. Jenny and I were having a conversation about just kind of the decrease in service not service organizations, but connection to service organizations. We're actually in the beginning stages of researching and piloting a senior capstone project for our CLC seniors that we want to be very service heavy, meaning we want to challenge them to put feet to what they're learning in their classroom in order to give back to the community in ways that the community has given to them. And so any sort of partnership or just insight into us in that vein, because y'all are such incredible servants through the community, would be wonderful. We want to produce students who are serving like Jesus serves us. And so any insight you guys would have on that would be great. And any questions you have, I know y'all need to go. I could talk about CLC forever. So
the way that people get into the CLC program is, do their advisors put them in it, or do they have to ask for the elective?
They have to ask for it, yeah. So because we want to honor the separation of church and state. So there are several ways. We have a registration form through our website, so it's wcclc.org, and any prospective student or parent can go there. It should be on most of
So
the things
how
I've
do
given
the
you.
kids, the students, middle school,
Yeah.
or how do they know it's available? If the advisors are not telling them,
Sure, yeah.
how do they know because it's not on campus?
No, it's not.
It has to be off campus.
Right.
I asked Nicholas about, Nicholas,
Sure.
have you ever
Yeah.
been to CLC?
Yeah.
And he said, no, it's never come up as one of my lectures.
Uh-huh, yeah. Yeah,
So I don't
so
know that he even knows that you have.
that's a great,
Open houses at the beginning.
yeah, we do
Well, he didn't
have,
listen to that.
we do have presence at open houses at pre-registration.
To what?
And I will say, something we're working on with the county right now is just equity as far as registration opportunities, because by and large, it's different school to school, depending on how the administration and the scheduling counselors operate. And so we have our website that people can go to and register, and then we get with the schools. A lot of it is word of mouth, by students, but a lot of it is our teachers pounding the pavement, like
And what
going to lunches and those kinds of things.
What percentage of the kids who do get it as an elective have never been to church before? Do you know that percentage?
Oh, 100%, yep.
Is it
I won't pull that up, but
70%, 70%?
this year it varies by cluster. So we're in the beginning, since I've come into this position, stages of tracking data, community specific, right? So Monroe, Walnut Grove, and Loganville. Walnut Grove, this is so interesting. Walnut Grove historically has been our most churched community or cluster. That is not true this year for whatever reason. So we have 72% of our students in the Walnut Grove cluster don't have any sort of background in organized type faith. Loganville is a little bit less, it's 42% this year. And then in Monroe, it is drastically higher. So it's closer to 80% of our students in the Monroe cluster are, that are, I mean, you know,
We
based
talk
on
about
their
that
own.
a lot of times. The reason I'm Baptist is my mom and dad are Baptist, my grandparents.
Sure.
The reason
Sure.
I'm Christian is my
That's no
parents.
longer
So
really a thing.
we realize
Yeah.
it's not that way. I always thought everybody grew up middle class too. I realized later in life they didn't.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it's an eye opener to see that many people
We're-
are in our church.
We're seeing our students, our student body now primarily, we would call them post-churched, meaning not unchurched, but they're post-churched. Either they were connected to a church prior to COVID and are not now.
Well, we
or
told
they
them don't go to church during COVID.
Or, yeah, sure. Or they were connected to a church, experienced deep hurt, and then
Yeah,
didn't come back.
yeah, I get it.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. So again, if we can reach them before they graduate high school,
Yeah.
we have a much better chance
Yes.
of them ever hearing about
Yes,
it again.
the Barna statistics show that 97.5% of people who profess faith in Jesus do so before their 18th birthday. So that's a staggering statistic.
97%.
That is amazing.
Thank you for the opportunity. And I'd love, if you have any further questions, I'd love to answer them if I can, or leave you with some of this info. And
So thank you
Thank
for coming.
you.
appreciate the opportunity.
Welcome to River Point. This is Meritage's new community. This is our first time being in Walton County, and we're happy to have you. We have 300 home sites here, and we would love to show you our product. We have a swimming pool, clubhouse, pickleball, courts, and beautiful home sites available. You can give us a call. You can reach me at 678-414-8963, and I'd love to show you around.
Hi, I'm Noxie LaRue.
And I'm Stephanie Calabrese, and we're the creators of the Wish You Were Here experiential exhibit here in downtown Monroe, Georgia. And I'll give a little bit of context about the experience. We are here in the Eulalia building at 127.5 North Broad Street. And the Eulalia group was very gracious to offer their space for us to create this experiential exhibit. And it is basically a look at Monroe and a study of our past, present, and the future. And so it's experiential in that not only are we sharing photography, a short film, maps, artifacts from Monroe, but also there's an opportunity for community input. And so I can kind of walk you through each of the sections. The first section here is Rewind and Revisit. This is a series of photographs that I made 10 years ago. Those photographs were featured in the New York Times. And then I thought it would be interesting to study Monroe in the present. So in 2025, I stood in the same steps where those initial images were made and reshot the photographs so that we could begin to see the change in the community. Some scenes have changed dramatically, others have remained very much the same. And so I think it's an interesting way to see the evolution of our town. Maybe things happen very slowly over the course of 10 years, but when you can look at them sort of side by side and then look at all the images as a macro view, it gives you the ability to ask yourself, how do we feel about these changes? Do we feel like the town is changing for the better? What might we be losing that maybe we want to find ways to retain? The next section of the exhibit is Reflect, and that area allows viewers to spend some time looking through high school yearbooks. So we have several here. 1969 and 1970 were very pivotal times in Monroe. So we have high school yearbooks from Monroe Area High School, from the last yearbook from Carver High School, which was our school for black students up through 1969, and then also the first year of George Walton Academy in 1970, which was the year the private school opened. And so because that was such an important time in our community, our communities and our schools were being desegregated and integration happened in totality in 1969. So it's a really important time for our community, and I think it's important for us as residents today to really understand that history, to respect what people in our community have been through. So when we think about Monroe, not just as sort of a picture post or picture perfect postcard, but let's understand like all of the truth of our past so that we can honor that and find ways to move forward better together as a much more integrated and cohesive community. So we also have a series in Reflect of maps of Monroe from 1925. So we'll go back 100 years. And that gives us an opportunity to take a look at, what did our town look like 100 years ago? How were the communities different? What buildings were here? What streets, moved through Monroe? And so as we think about Monroe in 1925, we start to imagine all the people who moved through our community and had an influence in creating what our town looks like today. So it's been really fun to see people walking up to the maps and pointing things out and pointing out where buildings no longer exist or where their house might be that that now is on the map. So that's been really fun to see too. The next section, section 3, is Remix, and that is a short film. It's 13 minutes long, and it is essentially a blending of voices of residents who've lived in Monroe. Some of our community members have already passed on, so I'm very grateful that we have their stories and their voices to sort of preserve and share. And this really tells the story of Monroe, in that we were very much a cotton and a farming community, which evolved into sharecroppers. As farming began to diminish, many of our community members moved into town of Monroe. It also takes us through the stories of what segregated society looked like here in Monroe, and then the integration of schools and beyond. And so it's a great way to take in, maybe what community members have experienced in the past, and helps us relate to the different experiences that really create our town in its totality. The next section of the exhibit moves to Recenter, and that's where visitors can place a pin on the map, show us where they came from to sort of mark that they were here. And on this wall, you'll see a collection of postcards where we pose 3 questions to the viewer about the past, the present, and the future of Monroe. And we really are encouraging community input. We want people to write their thoughts on the wall. So it's very much an opportunity to contribute to Monroe, and we're so grateful to have had lots of community members come through, and we're hopeful for many more as the exhibit continues through March 31st.
Hi, I'm Heather Howard, and I'm the new director here at the Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. And And I just wanted to say Happy New Year and welcome to the member show that we have going on right now. I also wanted to make sure you were aware that we have our favorite fundraiser of the year, which is our Super Bowl Saturday. It will be February the 7th, starting at 11 o'clock. Our potters will be making bowls, and you then can pick the soup that you want to have go in your bowl and take home. It's $20 for each bowl, and it's a great way just to increase your novelties of pottery, as well as celebrate and give back to our community here. I also want to make sure you know that not only do we have classes here at the center, but we also have classes at Rust and Dust, which is the antique store here in Monroe as well. And those classes you can sign up for online, or also you can drop in. They're $20 a class, and it's really for any ages 9 years old and up, and those happen starting at 11 there at Rust and Dust as well. And then, like I said, make sure just to check out what we have coming up in the next month, because we are always adding new classes, and really take your suggestions of what you might be looking for. Our pottery studio is still going great guns, and if you're interested in signing up for classes for that, please let us know. And again, we appreciate all your support, and if you want to be a new member and find out the benefits for that, I can just tell you right off the top, it's 10% off our show, or not our show, but our gift shop here, of which we have over 80 local artists in our gift shop. And then you also get a discount on a lot of our classes. And then we have our just free member events that we do that are great ways just to meet other people and learn some new just skills that you would have to pay other people to learn, but you would get them for free here being a member. And it's very reasonable. It's anywhere from $25 to $50 for the entire year. And we hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Hey, this is Isaac with Reboot, giving you the Reboot Tech Tip. I'm going to talk a little bit about security. I think the biggest thing these days is people are getting in trouble with email. And the email thing is it's a tough thing to keep secure, just because anybody with an email address can send you an email. And it can have a link in there that you can click on, and then it'll just give you a virus. And you don't even know that you've got the virus, because it's not like anything will tell you. And a lot of times these days they've designed these viruses to get on your computer without your antivirus knowing it. So there are a few things you can do, a handful of things. So one of the biggest things is, if you don't know that person, don't open the email. Or if I tell people a lot, so let's say you even get an email from what looks like somebody you know, but it just looks strange, like it has a weird subject, or stuff spelling isn't done correctly, or something like that. Generally, most of the time, actually, if you've got something like that going on in your head, it's probably a bad email. It's probably what's called a phishing email, where somebody's trying to get either get information from you, or load a virus on your computer so they can get information from you, or it could be some scammer, trying to suck you into some crazy scam. We deal with it a lot, and we get a lot of customers from the bank that they send our way also, just people getting into people's bank accounts, or like you'll get on the phone with somebody and they want to get onto your computer. That's a huge no-no. Do not let people on your computer. Don't do it unless you know them. Like some local person, or like I can't even think of. Maybe like if you have a Dell computer and you actually call Dell and they want to log in and help you. But most places these days, they actually don't do that. Like, they'll direct you how to do it, just because of this whole security issue and scammer thing. It's a huge deal. So one of the things you can do to help with the email thing is, there's a company called Bitdefender, and they make an antivirus that actually scans all your email now, which is nice. I won't say it's 100% effective, because nothing is. But a lot of what they do is they scam it and they tell you if it's safe or not, and also they'll put the ones that they're not sure about into a folder in your email, or You can log into your antivirus and check some of those and see why they think it's not a good email, stuff like that, which I think is great because this email thing is a nightmare. And so again, that company's called Bitdefender. It's an antivirus company, and then you have to look for because they sell several different kind of antiviruses, but you have to look for the one that'll actually scan your email. And I've seen it work. It actually, from what I can tell, it does a pretty good job. I have seen where maybe they don't want to do all, like they'll do kind of what's called a false positive, where they might catch an email that doesn't really need to be set to the side or whatever, but again, they'll send you a notification or whatever, and you can look at that email and determine yourself. So it's a great feature. But the other thing is if it's an email about paying money or you owe money or something like that, anything financial, any email financial, I always tell people double check it. Call whoever's sending you the email, call the bank, or there was a big one with the post office, call the post office, or there was a big one with PayPal. If you're not sure about the PayPal, look on your PayPal account. If you don't have a PayPal account, it's obviously a scam, So just double check your stuff, especially anything doing with money, and especially anything giving money to someone on the phone. That's a huge issue. So just be safe. If you're not sure, ask somebody. If you're not sure, call us or bring your computer down here, let us look at it, or whatever the case may be. One other thing I'll say real quick too is if you do let someone on your computer and then they're asking for money and all this stuff, if you have let somebody on your computer, take your computer to somebody, take it to us or somebody you trust or whatever, let them scan it, because 99% of the time, if you've let somebody on your computer, they have loaded something on there that you do not want on there, something that either get info from you or get money from you. We see that a lot, and so you need somebody to look at it. But anyway, Isaac with Reboot, giving you the Reboot tech tip. In Monroe, we have moved down the street. We're at 1215 South Broad. Come by and see us. Thanks.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die. Fortunately,
Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes, from loss of hope to hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you can make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.